Heart First leadership isn't what you say, it's how you show up, how you regulate, how you communicate, and how you execute when it matters most. We are Heidi and Ryan Sawyer, and you are listening to the Heart First Leadership Podcast.
Welcome to Integrated Mindset Podcast. I am Ryan Sawyer, co-host, alongside with
Heidi Sawyer.
And here we are. We're sorry we're a little bit late today. We were handling some very important business, and
we got a puppy, so we had to take the puppy out.
And we have a 9-week-old little life ball of fur, love and joy here at our feet.
I got to show him.
Yeah, let's do that. So life and circumstances were happening, and we were practicing living above the line in cooperation. Rather than in competition, which is the topic today. So, there he is. There is Chewie. We named him Chewie, as in Chewbacca. We're huge Star Wars fans. So, because of his color and he is living up to his name. Chewie is a wonderful name. So, we are blessed to have another loving energy inside the house. So, today we got commitment number 14, creating win for all. Win for all solutions, which is why we are late. It's because we were in the middle of creating a win for all solutions. We are on commitment number 14 of the 15 commitments of conscious leadership, a new paradigm for sustainable success. This is the idea of living above the line versus below the line. And this one is kind of an accumulation of this idea of committing. And here's one I thought about when I read this chapter, and I was kind of going through it. And I think I've said this before, I believe it's so incredibly easy to be living beneath the line and have no awareness of it. And this is one where we very unconsciously can operate from a level of either it's competition and
so competition or compromise.
Compromise.
When you're negotiating, those seem to be the only two avenues, but what we're talking about here is win for all solutions, which is a little bit different conversation. It's more about collaboration than competition or compromising. So let's just start off by reading the commitment, and then we'll dive into that a little bit more. So the commitment is, I commit to creating win for all solutions, win for me, win for the other person, and win for the organization, and a win for the whole. For whatever issues, problems, or concerns or opportunities life gives me. The below the line statement is, I commit to seeing life as a zero-sum game, creating win-lose solutions for whatever issues, problems, concerns, or opportunities life gives me. So it's this perspective where it's kind of this paradigm shift from thinking that if I win, someone else loses. If I get a piece of the pie, there's less for other people. Right. Or I have to compromise and nobody gets what they want.
Yeah. So fundamentally, this is raising the conversation of a very social norm and conditioned, programmed way of being in the world is how competition is this primal aspect. And then it's further ingrained into us, I believe, in just the way we live in sports and the things that we're attracted to and things that we watch and expose ourselves to. The dog has got the squeaky toy down there. It's completely sidetracked my thought pattern. So I think at a root, we have to first understanding where competition comes from, right? Is wanting, desiring this aspect that comes from lack, or fundamentally when we are trying to compete to win or to be better than somebody else, which is not a solution that is good for all. We are trying to overcome a sense of I am not good enough, or there is not enough resources. There is not enough in the world. So I need to get mine. And there is a winner and there is a loser, right? In any aspect of life, whether it be in a conversation, an argument, or whatever, right? And then so the next thing is like, oh, how in a relationship, how can we compromise? That is like the next tier up, where okay, I don't necessarily get what I want, you don't necessarily get what you want, but we try to find this middle ground. again, this is a concept or idea that I think gets very baked into us, that relationships is compromise. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that is a fulfillment experience of life.
It's less of a fulfilling experience.
It's not a fulfilling experience of life where I feel like I have to compromise the things that fill me up all the way. Like, absolutely not. There is a way to live in the world where we are finding a win-all solution in business, relationship, life, right? Where we are able to get and have and experience what we truly desire and want, and you as well get to, right? Yeah. And we're raising all ships. There is not a winner. There is not a loser. And if we don't try to reference our life from that point, then we're going to automatically operate or default to our normal programming and patterning, which is that we're not enough and there's not enough. So I got to win. You got to lose. I got to get mine, which means I need to be right and you're wrong. And it's not going to allow for sustainable growth for everybody involved. And it's legitimately, even though it may feel like in the moment, like it's serving you, it will not serve you long-term. It will not serve you. And because the reality is the ripple effect that you're putting out to the world is you're going to be taking away the mindset or the energy is that you're taking away from somebody else. And that's going to bounce back. That ripple that is going to have obviously a negative effect.
Yeah. So basically we talked about, all right, so there's the win-lose, which is the competition, winner and a loser. There's the compromise, which is a basically lose-lose situation. And then there is collaboration to create a win for all solution. So I like how they outline some of the steps in creating win for all solutions in the book. So one thing that you have to have in order to do this is you have to have a really clear picture of the core needs of each party involved, right? So if we're thinking of even like a business negotiation, really what are the core needs of the individuals, and then being able to express that with candor. We talked about candor in one of the previous that's one of the previous commitments, always speaking with candor and saying what's true for you. I think a lot of times when we're in a negotiation or we're in a conversation and we're talking about our needs and our desires and what we want to have happen, we can kind of leave out some of the important parts because we're concerned about what the other person is going to think rather than authentically expressing ourselves with candor and what would really be a win for us individually. So being able to express yourself in those negotiations and giving people the space and the sense of safety to be able to express themselves is going to be key to creating a win for all solution. Radical honesty, just openness.
Yes. Yeah. If you're not able to express what your needs are. And again, without unpacking human needs, right? Everybody has a basic human need to feel safety, secure in some way, shape, or form. And that comes from, a level of connection, autonomy, choice, meaning, contribution, all these different things that go into, and we can unpack human needs for days, but we'll just leave it there. So you have to first know what your motivation is coming from, right? Are you being motivated based upon what you think you need from a place of lack or not enoughness, right? And so if you are, then you're going to be probably trying to take something away from another individual. This is where we come together as a collective. We need to do the individual work on ourselves in a way to recognize how we're operating from this within ourselves first.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to first put the mirror and say, how am I first in competition and competing with these different parts of myself inside of me? One wants to be of great service to the world. The other one wants to make sure I have enough money. And the other one, all of these things, right? How do I come to a place of alignment within myself that knows what safety feels like and what's going to bring it a greater sense of safety and security? Then be able to present that conversation to the world.
Yeah. So knowing what your core motivation or need or want is, and then also understanding why is that important to you, and seeing where that, like I like to say, the come from. Where is the come from?
Yeah. And the come from is one that very quickly, if we're not doing this work on a very deep level, becomes very egoic, right? That, we somehow need to be right, in a conversation because this is what I believe. And so it can stem in from all different aspects of life. But I think it always comes back down to one of the easiest ways for me personally to relate to this is business, is when we start talking about money, when you start talking about an owner, employees, a customer, and here's these different relationships, right? There's the I of ourselves as the owner. We're the I of, let's just relate this to Sawyer's Painting, our residential painting company that we own and operate, right? On the side, or not on the side, but
outside of this.
Outside right? of this, yeah. We don't do it, we're not involved with the day in, day out mechanisms of it. I like that idea,
yeah,
right?
On the side.
Yeah, on the side. So there's the I, there's us. We are the owner, right? There's the we, right? There's the we as us and the employees. It's Sawyer's Painting, right? And then there's the it. The it is us, the employees, and the customers. All three collectively having an experience of Sawyer's Painting. Right. If we, the two of us, the I component of Sawyer's Painting, got really, really attached to a certain financial outcome of that business, we would then make decisions that are based in that experience, and we would lose context or texture around what is important of this win-all of what's the experience of the we, what's the experience of the employees as a whole and in their own individual spheres, right? And we would lose context into what is important and or wanting to be experienced by the customer. What's their needs? Their needs is they want a quality job. They want to feel safe and secure. They want to be communicated to, and they need to have it being done in a certain budget because they have financial needs. And if we lose sight of any one aspect of that relationship, of that triangle, we will then put ourselves into a place where we feel like we have to force something, compete, or competing against other companies. We're now blaming the employees, or we're even pointing fingers to the homeowner, saying, "Well, you clearly don't value wanting something to be done right," or whatever it is, because we have a certain attachment.
A lot in business that companies get big and then they lose sight of valuing the employees or focusing on the customer experience or things like that. It's like they get kind of blinded by what they perceive as the I in the situation as being a win for themselves. And therefore it becomes a win-lose situation for the other people, the employees and the customers involved. And that doesn't work. Right. So win for all solutions definitely applies to business, but it's anytime that you're relating with other people out in the world and within the dynamics of your organization at home, your family as well. Because a lot of times in the home life, things can be so focused on, in a disproportionate way, on one or more parts of the system. So we see that with people with kids, and the focus is so intense on the kids and their schooling and their sports and all of these things that the couple in the dynamic loses the component of the relationship between the two of them. So there's not really like a win for all situation going on. It's getting tipped in one direction or the other, and is not a healthy dynamic. So you can kind of apply that to, I'm just applying that to a family as an organization as well.
Again, it's to make sure, like it's a great concept or idea that we're going to go from a competitive or even a compromising mentality to a win-all solution. But we have to make sure first we know, like, what's the mindset and what's the practical application that's going to allow for us to recognize, first of all, if we're beneath the line and don't even know it. We have to first bring awareness to the fact that we're beneath the line, right? And then what's going to actually allow for me moment by moment, situation by situation, to actually progress and transcend myself, evolve myself to being able to live above the line. If this is possible, this is going to not just impact my life in a positive manner. It's going to actually allow for a growth and a new experience with the masses, with community, right? Consciousness in general, collectively, right? So, yeah. So to identify and to recognize our part in the whole, right? Which, so again, it's really quite interesting that this dynamic, and what you brought up is this dynamic of what we talked about. Like, we have to know first, there needs to be a level of self-serving, right? We have to know, like, okay, well, again, let's take it back to the business. If the I in this situation of Sawyer's Painting was not taken care of, well, it wouldn't make any sense for a business owner to own the business and have the risk of owning a business. Right. So it needs to, we as the business owners, the I component, need to first know that, like, hey, what is the minimum fundamental amount of money that this company needs to make for us to continue to justify owning it? Right. Or, and it comes to like our own personal development, our own personal growth, and the relationship we have with our family. Like, what is it that I need to do on a daily basis to take care of myself, the physical fitness, the whatever, right? The meditation, the breath work, all these different things that allows for me to then show up and be selfless and serve the we.
Right. Not pouring from an empty cup, but pouring from the overflow.
Pouring for an overflowing cup, right?
We just had this conversation literally right before this recording with one of our leaders in our company, and we were talking about that same thing, is being very candid with this person about, this is as the I, and then we have the we and the it. This is what our desire is, and this is what we want for everyone, and then this is what we want for our employees and for our customers and ourselves and the community, and how we want to give back and do all these things.
It wasn't we didn't mean to unfold it this way, but the reality is, reading this chapter sparked an awareness in my mind that in the last, 6 or 7 months, I got influenced in a way. I learned some information and content that influenced me in a way that pulled me away from focusing on a win-all solution for all three parts. And that used to be my number one focus. That's how we built the company, and that's how we built our coaching business. And that's why we're doing this conversation right now, is because, like, that is our motivation. We read this book years ago and been doing this work for years, and to recognize, hey, what if we were living our life in alignment with this idea that we're going to have a win-all solution for everybody? What would we be doing? How do we operate, right? And so somewhere along the lines, we have to be very clear about, be very careful about what you're letting in, because I lost track of that a little bit. And then I started to steer and make decisions and influence my environment in a way that pulled and sacrificed one of those elements within that sphere. Right. And it no longer, it was no longer 100, 100, 100. It was 100. Right. And it was 95, and it was 50% of saying, okay, of what I wanted all three parts to experience. Right. And here's the reality of what happened. What happened was an experience where I then, as the owner, then didn't have the experience that I wanted.
Yeah, right.
Because I stopped making it a win-all.
Yeah.
And I dropped beneath the line as an owner, and I started thinking about this competitive aspect and a certain financial outcome. And I lost track of it being a win-all experience for my employees, for the customers, for ourselves. And when you do that, like, wow, when you really take yourself and self-detach yourself from the situation and look at it from 10,000 feet and create that win all, like alignment happens in the most beautiful, incredible way. And that's what creates this really impactful ripple effect that changes everybody else's lives around you in a way that comes back to you tenfold, 100-fold.
We are all leaders. If you're ready to stop waiting and start impacting your environment in a powerful way, we want to connect with you. Click the Book Now link in the show notes to book a call with a Heart First coach and discover what Heart First leadership can look like in your life and in your environment. Now back to the show.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And I think that the more you're in the work, the more you're growing in your ability to witness and have awareness of what's going on internally and how things actually feel out of alignment or something's not right there, then the quicker you can course correct when you do notice that you're being influenced, because we're all being influenced all the time in our culture, and just taking advice of other people or books that we've read or whatnot, the quicker you can course correct that and get back in alignment with what's really true for you and right for everybody else.
Oh, that's the only way it's gonna be right for everybody. Like, and this is a much deeper conversation than I've been doing quite a bit of creative work recently, so my mind, I'm gonna try not to go too deep with this. But the more that we live in alignment, because this is what this is, you guys, is when we are in alignment with what truth is, and not truth based upon what I think or my perception of what truth is, but truth as in like universal truth, like God's law truth. The more we make decision in truth, right, the more that's what's going to allow for us to experience living above the line. And that's what's going to serve as those three spheres of the I, the we, and the it. Or another one would even say, I'm serving myself, I'm serving God, and I'm serving humanity.
And I love when we were in this conversation earlier and we were talking and you mentioned those three, I pictured three circles overlapping, right? Because they're all one and the same thing that we're talking about here. When you serve one, you serve the other. When you serve humanity, you serve God. When you serve God, you serve yourself. When you serve yourself,
there's like a center point when you overlap three different circles. So self, humanity. I'm actually making notes for our book.
And we're just saying, we're using the term, we're using God, but that could be universe. That could be whatever source, that is for you spiritually.
Divine intelligence, whatever. It's a higher power. And if you don't believe in that there's some sort of a higher power, you're probably not listening to this podcast. So it doesn't matter. So it's quite fascinating. And so living that truth, your truth is, just be careful of what that is, right? Because our perception gets very distorted when we get influenced by things that our mind is being influenced by everything that we're taking in, right? And this is what's going to naturally cause to fall. And we're not really following the book right now, but it's this idea is so deep. Yeah. It's so deep that if you aren't being really, really curious, which is one of the commitments, really, really curious about where you're coming from, where you're operating from, the decisions that you're making on a daily basis, if they're coming from a place of lack and not good enough, or they're coming from I'm enough, right? Like that's the root cause of competition. Right? If you're not curious about how that's happening inside of you and how you've been influenced by your surroundings, by your world, by social media, by marketing, by news, by your past, by your parents, by your coaches, by your bosses, by your friends, and everything that's ever come into your awareness has gone in there and has been programmed, has been imprinted into your nervous system. If you're not really questioning those things, then this commitment, you'll never get to this commitment. It won't even be a possibility. And I know this because here I am telling you this as a realization that legitimately 30 minutes ago, maybe an hour ago, I was like, holy crap, I've been living beneath the line for the last 6 months and I didn't even know it.
It's sneaky.
So sneaky. So very, very sneaky.
Yeah, it is. Great conversation. I think we could talk about this for a long time. But I want to invite you guys into our private community because we have an ongoing conversation.
You cutting me off already? We're done here?
Well, I think we're about at time.
I was just getting warmed up.
Oh, okay. Did you have more to say?
I always have more to say.
Okay.
I'll save it.
Well, you can save it for in the community. So I want to invite you guys to our private community. We have a awesome community outside of social media. It's on a platform that has an app that you can have on your phone, and it's full of people who are working on creating the best versions of themselves and really leaning into this growth and healing work and getting curious and exploring what that looks like for them. We do community events here locally, sunrise hikes and things like that, workshops, that type of thing. And then we're also doing a lot more virtually. We're going to start doing a monthly workshop inside the community that is free for members. The community is completely free. There's no financial commitment at all. It's a way that we want to enrich the circle, right? We want to give back. We want to create something that's a win-win for everybody. And so it's really fun. We hope that you join us in there. We'll put the link in the comments. And what else do we have coming up?
Well, if you're local in Spokane, we have a handful of workshops coming up at the Mat in Liberty Lake. Right. If you haven't been to the Mat in Liberty Lake, it's been re-overhauled with new paint and new floors and all that. Mm-hmm. And so if you're local, otherwise, just reach out and connect. We have, groups starting all the time, right? We do all women's groups. We do all men's groups. We're going to be doing a couples group here in the next month or so. We're working with club teams and sports teams. There's so much to offer. There's so much of this work to be done. And our reality, our desire is for it to become into reality that people are recognizing and becoming aware of and working towards how they're living beneath the line and how to then shift to above the line, right? And in this book, this illustrates the work that we do so beautifully. And it's just so important to have this sense of community and mentorship and other people who are doing this work to the level that we do it and our clients and our coaches are doing it, because here I am as the person who wrote this content in our program,
the integrated
mindset program. Here I am as the person who legitimately has committed their life to this work. I've devoted my life to this work. And I am sitting here telling you vulnerably right now that I unconsciously was operating beneath the line for months on end. And I'm just grateful that we're doing this work so I could catch it. Catch it, right? Because if I didn't catch it, I would have been I would have been able to blame the economy or the employees or this or that, right? And legitimately, it's none of those things. The reason why we're not having the experience of life that we desire and experiencing incredible amounts of unlimited joy and abundance and peace and love and connection and these things is because we are unconsciously sabotaging ourselves, or unconsciously crabbing and pulling ourselves down to an old experience based upon our past conditioning, the paradigms that we believe are real. Our perception is distorted and we're just unaware of it. So if we don't have a sense of community and mentorship and a guide and a path to follow that's helping us to wake up to our unconscious patterns and behaviors and beliefs and concepts of ourselves, we're just going to continuously to unconsciously create and sabotage ourselves. And it's going to be a cycle. And we're not even going to know that we're in it, right? And so I'm just super right now lit up, right? That we're doing this, that we're committed to this, that you're my wife, that we're in this together, that all the things, right? And even to the point, that we're able to bring this all together to say man, I just had an experience an hour ago, a recommitment to saying how important this is, and grateful for you as a listener, grateful for the clients that we work with, grateful for the coaches that we work with that are going to help to keep me on this path. Because man, when you wake up to how you have been holding yourself back, it is so incredibly beautiful and liberating to know I can let that go. and I can shift. And I know without a doubt that every single time I do that, my experience of life becomes more beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with my own personal experience. Same.
Yeah.
Same. The key is then to stay awake.
To stay awake. So what are you gonna do? Right, yeah. What are you gonna do to make sure you stay awake? And then and then the impact of that. The impact of that is something that is information coming back to you from your environment, right? You know, your kids just tell you that they're happy, right? And you don't even have to have a reason why.
Yeah.
They don't even have to. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, why? No, they're just happy and fulfilled and peaceful and joyful. And that's it. Like, it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. It's not about the roles. It's not about the amount of money. It's just about us doing this work to live above the line in a relationship with each other there's a win-all solution, so we all can experience more love, more joy, more peace. Like, there is nothing else. Nothing else matters. This should be our priority. Our priority should be able to liberate. It should be to liberate ourselves, to free ourselves from the lies that we've been told about what it means to be human, right? And therefore then be able to serve at a greater capacity, your higher power, whatever that is, and humanity around you. And that is it. There should be no other priority in our lives.
Yeah, I love that. We talk about priorities a lot in our own personal conversations. Next week, we're going to be talking about being the resolution. And this is going to be our final commitment in this series. We're already next week going to be on commitment number 15.
I'm kind of excited, not going to lie.
Yeah. And that one's going to be all about just finding the hole in the universe that you can fill, right? Finding your own specialty function and how you can be that missing puzzle piece to create a more whole world for us all to live in.
I love this conversation. Specialty role, specialty function, find that hole in the universe and be relentless in filling it, because that's what the world needs. The world does not need more athletes, football players. They need people who are thinking with their minds and filling holes. Just wait, there's more to come. So thank you. I appreciate you. And please reach out and connect with us. Just to hear some feedback of what you learned or anything else. So we're always here.
Thank you for listening. Remember, leaders go first. Alignment matters. And the environment that you create is the legacy you'll leave. We'll see you on the next episode.